Hey, hope you're doing well. And in this video, it's going to be a bit different than the others. We're still going to have the same kind of value. Specifically in this one, I want to talk to you about things you should look out for and things you should know before actually launching your very own online course program, right? Maybe many people will think that, launching one of these is actually super easy and it doesn't involve a lot of thinking. You just launch one of these and it'll sell and stuff like that. It is a bit more in depth than that. And essentially in this video, I'll go exactly what you should know, things to look out for, specifically in your case, in your account, and just overall tips as someone who launches courses for people who have audiences online. I'll show you the things I actually look out for and stuff like that, and also a bit of mindset specifically, right? But first of all, this is most likely you. You have built a small or medium-sized audience, right? You're posting content online. Maybe if you get like a few thousand followers or a few 100,000 followers, I don't know. You've made some you made some money through your content, but aren't exactly satisfied with the amount you're making, right? You know you could be making more, you're just unsure really how to. Um, and third of all, you know that courses and programs are probably the best way as a creator and someone who has an audience to actually elevate your income. You know that a bunch of people make money with them. You're just unsure actually how to get started on them and how you actually should go about doing one and releasing your own, right? This is probably you. And I say that because I talk to a lot of creators, and specifically, these are the things that they kind of struggle with or are unsure with, right? These are exactly their situation. Well, if this is you, watch this video because I'll be going into the things to look out for, the very first steps of actually getting on this journey of building a course or program, which essentially is a long-term journey. This is not something you do quickly, or if you want to have long-term success with it, right? We'll also look at analyzing your current situation and where you're currently at, and kind of different ways to go about it depending on your situation, and keys for success as well. If you want to have success, there's a few things you have to enable, whether that be mindset, whether that be your specific account and what you should do. There's a few things you should do for success, right? So it's going to be very valuable because before even actually getting into marketing it and stuff like that, you have to go a few steps back and actually see what you should be doing and the first steps and how to do them properly, right? This is like a super basic video, but it's still like super important to get these things covered, right? So here are the things to ask yourself before starting to build your very own course or program, right? First of all, it's interest. And essentially interest is, are people even ask you questions or advice specifically on your help or something similar, right? And this is specifically done if you're a content creator. I'm sure you get asked through DMs and emails specifically of your help or your advice, right? Is this something that people are asking for, right? Have they ever asked you if you do in fact offer a course similar program? Have they directly asked you, not only for help, but directly asked you if you do offer something, right? I talk to a lot of creators who haven't launched their own course yet, and they tell me that a lot of people just simply ask them, do they have it? Because they'd be a buyer, they'd be interested, right? So interest is super important to know if you actually have interest before actually building it, right? Or do you ever get questions in your DMs ever? Do you ever get any kind of questions related to help or advice? These are all really good signs that you have interest in a course or program that you'd be selling, right? Interest essentially just sales, so super important to know if you have interest. Expertise. Are you actually good at something and better than the average person, right? Again, you don't need to be expert, and I kind of go over this in other videos, but you don't have to be a complete expert, but you just have to be really good at something specifically, and most likely that's what you're making content around. And you just have to be better than the average person. Do you actually have proof of being good at that thing? So do you have results from your journey, from helping others? Do you have results for that specific expertise? Do you know enough to help someone who knows absolutely nothing, like who's just starting out? Can you actually help them with what you know, right? These are super essential to ask yourself if you have the proper expertise to actually launch with these things. And the desire, do you want and enjoy helping people out with their specific issues? Is that something you find fulfillment in? Do you want to work hard to be able to reap all the benefits that come from actually owning your course or program? Because there are a lot of benefits, but do you want to work hard to get those benefits? And are you ready to become somewhat famous and recognized for your skill online? Obviously, you have an audience you're following. That's only going to grow. So it's important to know that, are you actually ready to take that responsibility, if that's a responsibility, and actually launch your own online course or program through it, and again, be able to reap the benefits from specifically that course or program. And essentially, this will help you realize if making a course or program, so investing all the time into it and stuff like that is actually even for you. Like, are you actually going to make sales with it? Is this actually something you want to do, or just something you heard over and actually just want to go ahead because you just heard about it, or you actually want to get into it, get into this journey, and reap all the benefits that come from doing so, right? This is a question you have to ask yourself before you even start, because it is a big journey if you do it well, again, right? So now that we've established that if this is for you, here's what you must know before building, launching, or doing anything, right? First of all, the offer. This is essentially knowing exactly what you will make it around. Specifically, this ties back to your expertise. So what you're really good at, you have to make an offer around that. So what are you actually going to help people? Let's say you do videography. Okay, well, what exactly are you going to help people out with? That can be so many things. That can be specifically videography as a whole. That could be specifically color grading. That could be specifically a type of videography. That could be the business side of things. You have to nail it down, right? Try to make it precise and unique. Like, obviously, specifically in your niche, there's a bunch of people with different kind of offers, and they kind of share all the same offers sometimes. So you have to be really unique and precise. And the best way to come up with an offer specifically for you that's going to stand out, going to make sales, is essentially just teaching others what you've already gone through, specifically through your journey, right? And that can look like so many things. And specifically, like my example of a videographer, if you are, let's say, a full-time videographer making 10K per month, that's what you've been able to do, it took you years to get there, then just simply help or create something that helps people do exactly that, right? Become full-time videographers. Maybe you can talk about a bit more about the business side of things rather than just videography. Maybe that can be your spin on it to have a unique offer. And essentially, this is one of the things we dive in with clients to make sure they have a unique offer, right? Marketing. You have to have a plan on how you will actually be able to acquire clients and get new customers to your specific offer. You have to have a plan. You can't just go build it and then figure out the plan after. You kind of have to know exactly how you're going to go about it. Don't have to have the complete strategy put in place, but just an idea, right? And you have to know exactly also how to actually turn those followers that you have into paying clients. This is one of the biggest struggles I see. People do not know how to turn their followers into actually paying clients, how to create conversations, how to put the conversion systems. Like, they do not know how to do that, right? And this is all up to your marketing strategy and conversion systems, like I just mentioned. This is actually what you have to have nailed down at the start, right? And this can be developing a content strategy for your specific content, having clear CTAs, so call to actions within your content for them to take the next action to your course. That can be through Lead Magnet directly to your course. And maybe also doing viral video research for your niche and seeing what works, so you can kind of have a plan to when you actually launch, which kind of videos would you kind of be making in that style, right? So these are just examples, but there are a bunch of them that you can actually implement directly for your account to have an idea of what you're going to do for your marketing, right? Goal setting. Now, this may seem a bit like cliche, like, oh, goal setting. Everybody says to do that, but it's actually super important. And this can be any type of goal regarding your course. And what this does is actually helps put all the effort needed to actually get the rewards from it. Because if you don't have a goal, it's going to be hard sometimes building your course, building all the modules. You're going to be a bit like disappointed it's not going as fast as you want to, and then you're going to kind of fall off and you're going to delay it. But having goals is going to help you really just be accountable for what you want to do and get to that goal quicker, right? You say, oh, I want to do this module, but I know that, okay, this is the goal I want to have, to do it by this end of date and to make this amount of money with it because of this. So it's super important to have these goals, right? And these are examples of goals you can set yourself. You can really set any goals you'd like. You can set a revenue goal, say I want to be making this much amount per month, and this essentially will help me from my expenses and living expenses, whatever. You can also set a personal goal, like specifically maybe related to money or not. Maybe you want to move out, maybe you want to do something. Super important to set a specific goal. And then maybe it's another goal. Maybe it's helping a certain amount of people. Maybe it's giving back. Maybe it's whatever, right? Just having a really good goal and sticking to it, something that's realistic and something like that, right? It's definitely attainable. And if you have no idea of what your goal can be, then it's something also we go into helping clients actually set expectations of what they can do with it, right? Really helps with all the work that has to be done when creating one of these, right? Right, so this kind of ties back to the goal setting, but you have to set expectations for your course that it is actually going to take a lot of effort to not only be successful with it, but actually get it off the ground and build it. It is going to take a lot of effort. That's why they're so rewarding. It's because there's a lot of effort through it, right? The revenue, you may not see the exact revenue you'd like at the start. That's because you're still optimizing, testing things, and seeing how it works. Maybe you have a super great launch, but then after a few months, it takes down. That's why it's super important also to optimize. One of the things we do as well with our clients to ensure long-term success with their course, right? But don't be disappointed if you don't see the exact revenue you want at the start. It all happens. And delayed success. Maybe your course isn't going to be successful the first month or two. Maybe it's going to take a few months to actually get everything off the ground and actually see results with it, right? So it's super important as well to set expectations. This kind of ties back to the goals. That's why it's super important to actually set up goals, because those expectations are going to hit you and you want to be able to overcome them. But through doing that and through being able to persist through them, this is what you're going to get access to, right? With your own online course or program. Those 10, 30K plus per month, depending on your followers and depending on your niche, but definitely numbers we see a lot of people making the course, even way more than that, essentially. And location freedom. If you have a proper course or program set up and you have the right strategies over it, you can get sales pretty much anywhere you'd like through your laptop or your phone. And it's very fulfilling because you are just simply helping out people. And it's overall just a really good business model as a content creator or someone who has an audience online, right? So obviously it does take a lot of effort and stuff like that, but you can get these kind of benefits from having your own, right? And essentially before you launch your course, there's actually two ways you can go about it, right? About actually building the whole thing out. The first way is a rush way, where you're actually not spending any time building an actual valuable course, and you do it in a rush way. You kind of rush the video modules. You don't create something that actually transformative and actually helps people out and is valuable. You're not building any marketing strategies, like I just mentioned before, actually having marketing strategy in place. No conversion system within your content, not the appropriate sales page. You're not actually focused on any of this. You don't have a pre-launch, launch, or post-launch strategy to actually get really good sales on your course. You don't have this way. And this is essentially what we call the rush way. And a lot of people do this specific way, which really is bad. And you really miss out on this huge opportunity just by doing it rushed. And these are usually only made to make quick money, but actually never end up being successful, right? A lot of people want to get into the course program industry and do it quickly, and that's the wrong way to do it, right? Or you can actually do it the appropriate way, where you're actually building a transformative, impactful program or course that actually helps people out. You're actually building something that you know that can get other people results. You put all that through the video. You help them out with coaching, with the calls, the community, stuff like that. You actually build something that actually helps people out. And that's the only way you're actually going to be able to reap all the benefits that come with one, right? That's actually the way. You can't scam people and expect to get really rewarded for that, right? You actually have to help people. Coming up with the appropriate marketing plan, long-term plan, and proper optimization throughout the whole process is the appropriate way to go about it. And overall, having the right strategies put in place, like I just mentioned, all the strategies you have to have put in place, and essentially that's the appropriate way to go about it. And this is the way you actually build something that's very long-term, that can last you 4 years within your online course or program, right? This is the way you should go about it. And essentially, that's the exact way we do with all our clients, right? We go down the appropriate way to do it properly. That's why we do partnerships with the people we work with, because we're really interested in that long-term success with them. And to do this, there's actually multiple moving components, right? To have your online course or program actually be very, very successful. And essentially, when you get to the next level, actually doing it really good, you call it an education business, because it is, at the end of the day, an education business. So having a successful education business does contain, as you can see, a lot of moving pieces. Now, this is actually just a few pieces, but it's just to show you that there's a lot of things that you have to have nailed down, right? Account market analysis, proper research, offer creation, transformative offer, the platforms, VSLs, lead magnets, right? It's a bunch of stuff you have to have nailed down to actually make this successful. And essentially, all of this is what we do with our own clients. And essentially, I'm not going to go in depth on every single one of these points because this video would be too long and I exactly don't have the time for that. But I do go in certain other videos on my channel specifically on these kind of topics. But it's just important to know that, to have very good success with your online education business program or course, you have to have the right things enabled, right? And that comes from actually just knowing what you're doing, right? So having the right knowledge within the industry to be able to do this, right? Maybe you looking at this do not exactly have all the knowledge. Maybe you know a few things. Maybe you know content creation because you've been able to grow a following. But maybe when it comes to the course and program side of things, you're not exactly there when it comes to the knowledge, right? Knowing all these things that I just showed above, right? And that being said, I would like to help you out with a specific journey that you want to embark in, right? If you watch this video, because you actually want to get started with the online course program. And I want to help you not only with the building, launching, and actually releasing the whole thing out, because it's exactly what I do. I help specifically creators launch their own online course or program and get it to really those good numbers. We strive for 10 to 30K plus per month, depending on followers and specifically niche as well, right? So what I want to offer to you is a free personalized game plan video for your specific course or program that you've actually been thinking of doing, right? And if you want that specific video, I want you to DM me on Instagram, which is below this video, and tell me that you're from YouTube, you watch a specific video, and I'll send that over specifically to you, right? Give me at least 48 hours to make that video specifically for you, but I'll go through your account and see exactly what you could do, what that course program could look like, giving you some free tips, completely free, no strings attached. I just want to send that over to you so maybe you have a better understanding of actually how to get started. So again, the Instagram is Adam Growth Expert if you want to do that specifically. The link for that specifically is below. And I really want to help you. I'll make that video for you. You can tell me what you think. And yeah, that's pretty much for this video. If you want to go learn more specifically what I do, you can go check out my other videos. I kind of break down more exactly of what I do and the partnerships I do with creators, right? So if that's of interest, do that. And for the rest of you, I'll talk to you soon.